going on YouTube? Here's the ASAP Flash here, and I'm here with a movie review. So I decided to go. I felt like going to the movies today, and I was looking through IMDb to look for something good to watch. Not really anything caught my attention. I mean, sure there was Boss Baby, but my attention kind of dissipated after so long, and after a while, I was like, nah, I'm not really gonna bother to see that. I mean, there was some good movies. Nothing really caught my attention. What I'm really looking forward to is seeing Wonder Woman next month, and that's like maybe a few weeks away. But what I ended up seeing this today was, well, let me just give you a hint. And if you're unsure what the hell that was, it was Lowriders. I had seen the movie Lowriders today, and like when walking in, at first I wasn't really expecting anything. I was gonna be like, okay, just another movie about cars, so what? But a lot like you know Boys in the Hood or Straight Outta Compton or Blood In Blood Out or movies like that. This movie is all about the culture. Everything that is associated with lowrider culture and you know the people the surroundings and everything. It's just all about that. And quite frankly, like in the trailers, it kind of misled me a little bit because it made me lead to believe that the whole movie was going to be about the main character, how he spray paints over everything, and then he's like an artist in his own right or whatever. But that was more or less the small part of the plot of the movie. It didn't really take place the whole movie, but it was one of the motivators behind it, more or less. Actually, if anything, it wasn't really much about the lowrider per se. Like I said, it was more about the culture. But what it was really about the family because um, one of the characters played by Theo Rossi or however you want to say his name, he was in the show Luke Cage, and which the kind of funny thing is in both show and movie, he has the same last name. So I was kind of like joking around, like, what if the two characters are related? And it's kind of maybe not really because this movie it looked like it takes place in the '90s or early 2000s, and Luke Cage will take place now. But the thing is, it's like um one Luke Cage take place in New York and Brooklyn in that area and or Queens, and this movie takes place in Lower Los in the Bay. So even if they could be related, I mean it's not like entirely out of the field, but it could be anyway. But back to the movie. So I got distracted a little bit. Hold on, that's nothing important. So like the plot of the movie, let me get the slide situated. Anyway, the plot of the movie was like the father apparently in the past he hasn't been that good of a person. He's like you know more or less absent as what the characters say. I mean, they don't really go into detail, but you can fill in the blanks on what happened. So he's kind of more or less an absentee father. So that leaves the older character to take care of his brother, his younger brother. So he feels like you know just feels left out, taken out of the picture because his nickname is Ghost, and to him that feels like nobody's mentioned him. He feels like just kind of like the black sheep of the family. So in a way, he wants his younger brother to follow his same footsteps. Because earlier in the movie they had like a bit of a disagreement about the spray painting and shit. So he's like, he kicked himself out of the house essentially. But like later in the movie, when he went to like celebrate, give his dad congratulations because they won like some lowrider um expo. He's like, oh no, don't, like, as in like to say like he went down that path, so he wants his brother to join him in that path. So it just seems kind of like he just acting that way out of bitterness. It's like in some ways in this movie they don't really give him a lot of motivation to act like the way he's acting. He's probably just acting like that because he's the salty little ass. But I guess near at the end of the movie, like at the end, like with like the conflict, the resolution or whatever, it seemed like to have like a happy ending. I mean, in fairness, like he is in jail, but when they go to visit him, it looked like they put the grudges behind them and just generally like moving forward. What's kind of interesting though, is kind of like a subplot of the movie, like what I mentioned earlier about how his spray painting is like a subplot of the movie. He meets this girlfriend. He meets this girl of his, or he actually meets a girl at a punk rock concert. Later, they become in a relationship. But the thing is, it's funny because I didn't realize she was played by Supergirl, Melissa Benoist. Actually, she played a pretty good part in this movie. Anyway, so like when she was showing his art to an art dealer, she was saying like all these stereotypical things like oh she's without a face. He usually draws women but with their faceless, and she's like trying to have like some deeper meaning or whatever, and then he gets a little annoyed by that because one, he doesn't want to show his art to a pompous like art dealer that, like, in his words, a hipster art dealer. Well, actually he didn't really say that, but I kind of said it for him, whatever. But he doesn't want somebody to say like what he's thinking, and like in his mind, he doesn't want his art to be sold. He doesn't want to sell out. But the thing is, as she was saying, like, you know, um, kind of like, instead of just drawing on buildings, you could, put your name out there. Long story short, at the end of the movie, that's basically what had happened. Except in this case, he was drawing on cars, like as an actual legit job instead of just drawing on the side of the buildings and defacing the bridges or whatever. But yeah, it just felt like a nice ending a little bit. So it didn't feel you know like they intentionally put a lot of like stuff in the plot to make it more complicated and make it more like unneeded plot. That's essentially what I'm saying. Like, they didn't make it seem more complicated than it really is. It felt kind of like a basic, 1, 2, 3 movie. I mean, it wasn't boring. I mean, maybe a little bit in the beginning of the movie it was a little boring, a little just kind of like stereotypical, I guess. But near towards the middle of the movie and in the end, it really got better. Like, it wasn't that. Sorry, it wasn't like Fast and the Furious, where it's like, oh, we're a family. Da, 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 da. It didn't really say that it was family, but it was heavily implied that like what was going on in the movie. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the review and everything. Like I said, there was nothing that really caught my attention, but this is the first one that came out. The 11 o'clock show versus the others was like later in the day and shit. Actually, the movie that I actually wanted to see was The Circle, but that freaking movie, for some reason, it came out at 10:30 at night. I'm like, I'm not gonna. Hell no, that seems crazy. I mean, watch a movie at 10:30 at night and come back home at midnight. Nah, I'm good. But yeah, but for sure, most definitely, I'm looking forward to the summer movies. Wonder Woman, without a doubt, and I think the following months is Spider-Man: Homecoming. Oh, speaking of which, I almost forgot. Um, one of the side characters in Spider-Man: Homecoming is also in this movie, so it's kind of interesting to see him as a punk rocker and slash kind of greaser or whatever. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so like I said, that's pretty much it for my movie review. It was a pretty good film, but I mean, it wasn't like great, but it wasn't horrible either. It was all right. I liked it. I would definitely recommend it if you are interested with lowrider culture or love the lowrider culture and all that shit, or you're involved with it or whatever. And that's it. So yeah, and if you've seen any movie and you liked anything, or what are you looking forward to, please write it down in the comments. My name is ASAP Flash, and don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that bell for future videos. And I'm out like the Flash, and it's you with another video.